Okay, everybody, we've got another video today. This is multiplying fractions, which is really very simple. I wrote the steps here real quick that I'm going to erase in a moment. So, there are two ways of doing this. I'll show you the first way, and then I will show you the second way. All right, first things first, you're going to multiply the numerators, the numbers on the top of the fraction, then multiply the denominators, the numbers on the bottom of the fraction, and then you're probably going to get something that needs to be put into simplest form, so you will need to put it into simplest form. I'm going to erase these directions and put a problem on the board. Okay, the problem we're going to do is 3/5 times 5/9. Now if I follow the directions that I just gave you, the first thing is to multiply the numerators. 3 times 5 is 15. My second step was to multiply the denominators. 5 times 9 is 45. Now my last step was to put this fraction into simplest form. And I know that this can go into simplest form. Now, I can look at those numbers and I can see that 15 and 45 both end with a 5. That means they're both divisible by 5. So I'm going to go that route. I'm going to do 15 divided by 5. That gives me 3. Then I'm going to do 45 divided by 5, and that gives me 9. Well, I'm not done yet. Now I have 3/9, and I know that still is not in simplest form. So I have to go into simplest form again. Oh, so many steps. I look at 3 and 9, and I can see that 3 and 9 can both be divided by 3. So, simplest form again. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Because I have a 1 in my numerator, I know that it's already in simplest form. Now, that is a great way to do it. Wonderful. But I'm going to cut out some of that simplest form steps. So I'm going to show you that same problem, reducing or going into simplest form first. So much easier. It's the same steps. The same steps, just doing step number 3 first. So, again, it was 3/5 times 5/9. Now, the steps that we talked about earlier were multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, and reduce. Simplest form. I'm going to do the same thing, but first, I'm going to do step 3. So I'm going to look at an x, and I'm going to see, can these two numbers be reduced? They can. 3 and 9 can both be divided by 3. So I'm going to cross them out. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and I write it right there. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Now I'm going to look at these two numbers in that part of the x. 5 and 5. Oh, well I know 5 and 5 can both be divided by 5. So I cross it out. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 5 divided by 5 is 1. Simple. Now, I go back to my other steps. So I've reduced already. Now I'm going to multiply the numerators. I've got 1 times 1. That's 1. I've got 1 times 3. That's 3. I'm already in simplest form. So much easier to do your reducing first. Let me show you one more where we reduce first and then we do our multiplying across the numerator and denominator. Okay, let's go with 2/3 and 5/8. So 2/3 times 5/8. Okay, I look here at this x, 3 and 5. I can't reduce 3 and 5. There's not a number that will go into 3 and into 5. So they stay the same. So now I do 2 and 8. So I have to see, is there a number that can divide into 2 and into 8? There is, and it's 2. I do 2 divided by 2 is 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Now I go back to those steps. I do step number 1, which is multiply the numerators. 1 times 5 is 5. And I do 3 times 4, which is 12. And this is in simplest form. I hope you got it.